listening to Republic Broadcasting Network, because you can handle the truth.
What Really Happened with your host, Mike Rivero. The history the government hopes you never learn. Here is your host, Michael Rivero.
Welcome to our show today. It is Monday, January 11th, 2021, start of a brand new week here of whatever's going to be happening. It's probably going to be very tense for the next 9 days until Biden's inauguration. Could even be intense after that. More about that a little bit later. We have a lot of news to get through today. So as usual, I'm going to do news until I run out of news, and then we'll open the phone lines for your comments and questions and observations and opinions. Mike is in our control room, twiddling the dials and keeping us out of trouble. And so let's get right on into it. Obviously, big news over at the House of Representatives. Nancy Pelosi is pushing 2 resolutions. One is a resolution calling for Pence and Trump's cabinet to invoke the 25th Amendment and remove Trump from office today. That resolution failed because one Republican voted against it. It can go back to the floor tomorrow for a formal vote here. So they're going to go for a full vote. And then the second resolution they're putting forward is an impeachment resolution for incitement to violence, which Trump never actually did. But it just seems amazing. With only 9 days remaining, why are they so desperate to get Donald Trump out of office right now? And I have a theory, and I stress this is only a theory, that they are concerned that he could try a counter coup in the next 9 days. And, you know, just going past the 20th isn't really going to be that hard a deadline. Remember, Hugo Chavez, he was actually out of power for some, for a few weeks, and then he got back in. So anything is possible right now. Anyway, the lone voice who prevented the 25th Amendment resolution from passing was Representative Alex Mooney from West Virginia. And again, the resolution doesn't really carry the force of law. It is simply the will of the Congress sending a message to Trump's cabinet and to Mike Pence, please invoke the 25th Amendment. The problem is that, Trump is, if you have to read the 25th Amendment, Trump doesn't have any medical problems. He's not mentally incompetent. They just don't like him. And that's why they're trying to impeach him twice here. Now, GOP Senator Pat Toomey, is calling for Trump to basically they're all blaming the attack on the Capitol building on Donald Trump, saying that he urged everybody to come to Washington, D.C., but he did not say anything about violence. In fact, the vast majority of these million people were there. They were very peaceful. They were friendly. It was just like any of the other Trump rallies. We had these agent provocateurs going on in to cause trouble for the media to use to demonize not only Donald Trump, but all of his supporters. But you can rest assured, because we have the word of the Department of Justice and the FBI, that there is no evidence that agent provocateurs were involved in the violence at the Capitol. So anyway, moving on here. Yesterday on Fox News's Fox Report, Representative Matt Gaetz from Florida reacted to the Democrats' push to impeach Trump over his supposed part in the U.S. Capitol riot that left 5 dead and many more injured. And Gaetz said that with Inauguration Day just 10 days away, actually 9 days now, impeachment really is unnecessary, and he's right about that. It would be divisive in the extreme here. And apparently Nancy Pelosi was being interviewed on a TV show, and she came right on out and said the second impeachment is all about guaranteeing that Trump can't come back and run in 2024. So this is as dirty as politics get here. Harvard Law Professor Emeritus Alan Dershowitz said Democrats have virtually no chance of successfully impeaching and removing Donald Trump before Inauguration Day. And of course, once power transfers to Biden, Trump can't be impeached. And the Constitution says the president shall be removed from office upon impeachment. It doesn't say former president. So Congress has no power to impeach or try a private citizen, whether it be a private citizen named Donald Trump or Barack Obama or whoever. So they're really thrashing in the wind there, but it's all about damaging Trump to get him out of politics. They don't want him anywhere near that town here. Now, Donald Trump has asked Rudy Giuliani and Alan Dershowitz to defend him during the impeachment. I mean, the House will impeach him, and then the Senate holds the actual trial here. And of course, Dershowitz is out there saying it would be an honor to represent Donald Trump yet again. Defense officials are confirming Donald Trump is still the commander-in-chief. They're refusing to participate in any kind of a military coup to oust him. And, despite the campaign by Democrats and the corporate media to delegitimize Donald Trump, DOD officials saying they're not going to bow to outside pressure. They continue to recognize him as the commander-in-chief, which opens up some interesting possibilities for the next 9 days. Okay, now apparently precincts across America are investigating officers and at least one chief of police for involvement in the protests last Wednesday. Okay, and the FBI is saying there is evidence of an inside job where the protesters were aided by cops and staffers. Well, we already know that. It was caught on video. They really can't deny that, although the FBI is really good at denying things. They still insist Vince Foster committed suicide here. Representative James Clyburn of South Carolina said yesterday that the pro-Trump rioters who ran wild inside the Capitol may have had inside information to help them. That's hardly surprising. We know it was a put-up job. It was a setup. It was an absolute false flag setup. Now, Nancy Pelosi is out there accusing the Trump supporters who were at the Capitol this last week of choosing their whiteness over democracy. This is more of the white man bad that we have been hearing from D.C. for going on years now. So Pelosi used an online video meeting with her constituents to criticize the predominantly white crowd that was at Congress last Wednesday. So again, they're playing the race card on this one. Article coming on out from Unz.com. U.S. Capitol protest, the ruling class tantrum, and boy, are they throwing one, shows Americans must all hang together because everybody is at threat. Even if you sat at home and you weren't in Washington, D.C. I've never been to Washington, D.C. myself, by the way. So this gets to this next article here. This is from CaitlinJohnstone.com. And apparently, the article is titled, "The Boot is Coming Down Hard and Fast," and that is exactly what's going on. Biden has announced plans for new domestic terrorism laws in the wake of the Capitol Hill protest. And you know that Biden boasts about being the original author of the USA Patriot Act. So, he's out there saying, well, we need Patriot Act 2, which was, the beginning of the dictatorship. So Democrats are already drafting legislation to criminalize Trump rallies, to simply across the board say any rallies for Donald Trump are domestic terrorism. And they're trying to criminalize their opposition. And in the process, they're trampling on the constitutional right to peacefully assemble and petition the government for redress of grievances. But they don't want to have to put up with that anymore. Another story, this one coming from Zero Hedge, Patriot Act 2.0, aimed at the unwoke enemy within. And, I remember back when Patriot Act, the first Patriot Act was passed, was just right after 9/11, and it was very obvious that it had been prepared in advance. And we probably have got the same thing here. And that's confirmed by a story out of Investment Watch blog that apparently Democrats already have a 100,000-page domestic terrorism bill ready to go to the floor as soon as Biden is in the Oval Office. Now, Jamel Hill fears that lax punishment for Trump supporters would weaponize white people. I mean, they're talking about punishments for people merely for voting for Donald Trump. I mean, that's Soviet style here. And you know, they're out there still pushing, you know, Russian involvement, and there's no evidence for that. It's terrible, and it gets even worse than that. Former CIA Director John Brennan is calling for Mao-like public humiliation sessions for Trump supporters before they're allowed back into society. And I never thought I would see this country going this direction, but it's going. It's terrible here. All righty, there are military personnel gathering in Washington, D.C., their National Guard, because Posse Comitatus says you can't deploy the regular army. But there will be around 6,000 people, personnel in D.C. I guess by now, because this article came from last Friday. It's a massive response to the U.S. Capitol protests from last Wednesday here. So the Virginia National Guard has about 1,000 personnel in D.C. As of Saturday. The Guard plans on adding another 1,000 by last night and joining National Guard soldiers and airmen from states around the district. So there's going to be this armored presence there, if you will. They're talking about letting them carry guns. And probably they'll be on the ground until sometime after the inauguration. Now, one of the things that happened when the peaceful demonstration was turned into a violent confrontation by the agent provocateurs, the media started saying, this is Vladimir Putin. He wants this. This is, exactly what he wanted to happen. Actually, no, it isn't, because Russia right now is afraid of the consequences of U.S. political instability. They're not sure who's going to be in charge and what their agenda is going to be like. And it's a very unstable time right now. So let's get into the issue of corporate media censorship, because there is an awful lot of it there. Megyn Kelly, Scott Baio, Oscar-nominated Randy Quaid, the original Buffy, all slammed Twitter for silencing Trump after his permanent ban from the platform. Here you have a private company that is, muzzling the president of the United States of America. And even Secretary of State Mike Pompeo was out there saying silencing speech is dangerous. It's un-American. Sadly, this is not a new tactic of the left. They've worked to silence opposing voices for years. China is mocking the United States over the Twitter bans. And, Twitter banned President Trump. Other U.S. social media networks followed suit. Divergences on the silencing of Trump are greater than the protest itself. And such divergences would further divide U.S. society and lead to more hatred and confusion. That is certainly the truth here. Now, this brings us to Parler, or Parler, depending upon how you wanted to pronounce it. Conservatives flocked to the platform there. Twitter stock is off by something like 12% since they blacklisted Donald Trump here. The problem with Parler, they were running their website on Amazon servers. And that was a big mistake because Amazon pulled the plug on them last night. And the smartphone application has been removed from Apple's store over, censoring content. And so Amazon pulled support there. Let's see, Glenn Greenwald is blasting Twitter's ban, saying the tech titans, say that 3 times fast, are feigning offense to destroy Parler. And he basically came on out and said the reality is far more violence has been planned on Facebook than on Parler. and basically said that YouTube is promoting right-wing extremism, which they definitely are. So, pardon me. And Google, Apple, and Amazon united to destroy Parler. Now, Gab is overloaded right now. People are flocking to Gab. They own their own servers, so Amazon can't pull the plug on them, but they're buying new servers as fast as they can and putting them online to deal with the additional traffic here. Meanwhile, the CEO of Parler is preparing to take full legal action against the big tech companies that targeted him. And John Matz, Parler's founder, told the Epoch Times that he believes Apple, Google, and Amazon acted in bad faith, and they are considering legal action. I think they should. I really do think they should. And it gets even worse than that. The company that handles bulk emailing for the White House suspended Trump's account or Trump's campaign account. Trump can't even email his supporters. I mean, they're absolutely silencing this man, the President of the United States of America. You know, these tech companies, they're trying to run the country, and they were not elected to do that. Over at Mozilla, they're saying deplatforming Trump isn't enough. They're talking about new safeguards built into future versions of their browsers, which is why I will not be using their browsers anymore. Facebook and Instagram are blocking the president from using their services indefinitely. It's a permanent ban. So right now, Twitter, Google, Apple, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Snapchat, Pinterest, Shopify, Reddit, TikTok, Twitch, and Discord have all either banned or restricted President Trump from their platforms. Anyway, Attorney Sidney Powell has been suspended from Twitter. There's a growing list of Trump supporters being silenced. That includes General Flynn. Stop the Steal organizers Michael Codray and Ali Alexander were banned. Lynn Wood was kicked off. The Gateway pundit's Joe Hoft was suspended last week for putting up a post about Hunter Biden. So it's a grand purge. It's the internet equivalent of the Soviet purges here. Tom Fitton from Judicial Watch has been suspended from Twitter for 7 days with absolutely no explanation. All right. Ron Paul has been blocked from accessing his own Facebook page. Sorry, I'm a little bit under the weather today. I'm coughing a lot. Apparently, Twitter went and censored a group called Moms for America. I mean, that's really insane what they're doing. They're drunk on their own power here. Meanwhile, as I mentioned before, Gab has seen a tremendous increase in traffic, 750%. And so, they're bringing in 10 new servers to handle the additional traffic. So if you go to Gab, and with Parlay gone, I'm going to Gab as well. And by the way, Trump is on Gab. So, you can read his feed over there. Meanwhile, Gab issued a statement on Apple and Google's tyranny. And they're saying, if your business is built on the backs of the Silicon Valley tyrants, Apple, Google, etc., they can and will attempt to destroy you if and when you become a threat to their interests. They did it to Gab, then Fortnite, now Parler. Now, Apple banning Parler is not the natural implementation of some objective standard. It's a cynical, politically motivated gesture and evidence of Silicon Valley elites' disdain for ordinary Americans. By the way, a little statistic you may be interested in. Right now, 40% of the internet goes through Amazon servers. And this is directly opposite the purpose for the internet first being created. It was supposed to be a network that connected computers that could survive damage, that could survive a world war. It could lose up to 1/3 of its connecting lines and still operate. But now everything gets funneled through Amazon. Boy, is there a great target for an enemy attack right there. Just shut everything down. Got to take a break for commercials. We'll be right back.
Hey gang, Patrick Slattery here with an important message that is pertinent to anyone who shops for groceries, eats food, or just has an inquisitive mind like myself. What I'm about to introduce you to is a segment of our food culture that has been kept so low profile to the American public that virtually no one is aware of how dominant it is on our refrigerator and cupboard shelves. What I'm talking about is the kosher certification industry and a new app, Koshertified, that delivers a comprehensive education on all aspects regarding this little-known practice. After reviewing this app, I found that it is useful for practically anyone who purchases food, regardless of their religious faith or identity. Its database of products not kosher certified is a win-win convenience for all food-conscious people. So why not check out thekosherquestion.com or click on the link at nationalbugle.com and see how modifying your grocery shopping with the Koshertified app can make a huge difference for your future.
Folks, we're living in a world the likes of which we've never perceived any clearer than we do now. The plan for global governance has been in the works for generations and would have likely been achieved by now, but for the fact that the globalists left open their Achilles heel. With all their tools, Federal Reserve System, fiat currency, no child left behind, and then Common Core education introduced to our schools to dumb us down, vaccines, pharmaceuticals to lobotomize us, GMO foods, insertion of compromised or bought and paid for politicians, judges, mainstream media propaganda, all pieced together like a puzzle designed to ultimately bring the world under submission. But with all their strategy, they forgot one thing: knowledge. And knowledge is power. With knowledge, their bombardment is nullified. Folks, with that, as brilliant and knowledgeable as you've become, among the wisest audience of any radio audience in the world, and you are, I want you to take a moment to reflect and ask yourself, how much of that knowledge did I obtain from Republic Broadcasting Network? How high has my consciousness been raised since I've been a listener? How fast am I now able to discriminate truth from fake news by being a Republic Broadcasting listener? How clear am I now able to see the world since I've been listening to RBN? Ask yourselves those questions, folks. Then ask yourself, what is that knowledge worth to me? Like my morning coffee, how would I survive without it? A voice of truth in a sea of lies. Do we not all need to make sure it survives? Like public broadcasting, we are now finding we can only survive with listener support. Censorship, advertisers being attacked, truth itself being attacked. It's the only way through this. We at Republic Broadcasting humbly ask you to become a supporter. Look at your budget and make a determination of what Republic Broadcasting is worth to you and what you can afford on a monthly basis. Go to republicbroadcasting.org and pledge 20, 30, 40, 50, if possible, 100 a month or more if it's affordable. Click the donate button and become a regular monthly donor. Assure both us and yourself that Republic Broadcasting truth will continue to flow like that morning coffee. The network thanks you.
Some are maxed out all their credit cards. Some are working 2 jobs and living in cars. Minimum wage won't pay for a roof, won't pay for a drink. If you gotta have proof, just try it yourself, Mr. CEO. See how far $5.15 an hour will go. Take a part-time job at one of your stores. I bet you can't make it here anymore.
Okay, my mistake. I had the volume down on my little mixer here. Anyway, quick little reminder, Republic Broadcasting Network needs your continued support as we head further into this year of chaos. And it's going to be insane. 2021 is going to make 2020 look like a summer picnic here. Anyway, the postal address where you can send a check, money order, or if you prefer anonymity cash, is Republic Broadcasting Network, 2251 Double Creek Drive, number 302, Round Rock, Texas, 78664. The phone number where you can make a credit or debit card donation is 800-724-2719, extension 3. And don't forget that all this information is at the top of republicbroadcasting.org. All right, so we're talking about this wave of corporate censorship that is sweeping the country. And what the government is doing, the government is forbidden from controlling speech by the First Amendment until they finally toss it in the shredder here. So they're hiding behind these social media companies who have the excuse, hey, we're private companies, we're not part of the government, we can do what we want here. Reread your terms of service here. And it's definitely getting very, very abusive. It does open up opportunities for new startups to take over, except, the big players are going to try and crush them down, which is, monopolistic behavior, trust behavior. And, it's going to get very intense there. Just to show you how arrogant they're becoming, Twitter has started a purge of pro-life conservative accounts, claiming that they are promoting harmful activity. And conservative Twitter users are complaining their accounts are losing large quantities of followers, and in the thousands. So, Twitter is just shut. And something, all this capability that they're exercising right now had to have been developed well in advance. They're not just staying up over the weekend to write in all this new code to play these games here. Okay, Google, Microsoft, and Verizon are among President-elect Biden's inauguration committee donors. And the Biden inaugural committee released a list of all contributors who donated over $200. They didn't list how much each contributor donated, but apparently the fact that Google donated to the inaugural committee sort of confirms the bias that they have over there. So they helped him steal the election, and now they're going to throw him a big party. Okay, Devin Nunes is out there saying there needs to be a racketeering investigation into big tech. And, are they in fact engaging in illegal activity, not First Amendment, not speech and censoring, but just in their business practices? And I think it would be a really, really good idea. But with the Democrats in control of both houses of Congress and the White House, I don't see it as likely to happen. These next 2 years are going to be ugly, probably the next 4, having such a massive vote fraud mechanism in place. They're not going to tear it down. It's not going to go away. They rely on it to cling to power here. World leaders are equating this big tech censorship of the American people, with the Holy Inquisition. We're going to punish you because I think what you're saying is harmful. And Lopez Obrador, the president of Mexico, said, where's the law? Where's the regulation? What are the norms? This is an issue of government. It is not an issue for private companies, and I wholeheartedly agree. Now, somebody's trying to do something about it. Tim Berners-Lee is the father of the internet, and he is not happy with what it has become. It has become centralized, which was not the original design intent. So he's taking some action to fix it. He's building a new internet where you control your data. And, he says it's supposed to be a free environment. It's certainly far from that right now with all these corporations out there doing the government's dirty work for them. Little bit of good news. Laura Loomer, who's a conservative activist and political candidate, and Larry Klayman of Freedom Watch have filed a petition with the United States Supreme Court charging the anti-competitive, discriminatory practices of Google, Facebook, Apple, and Twitter violate the Constitution. And apparently, Loomer and Klayman first challenged the tech giants in antitrust litigation several years before former Attorney General William Barr raised the issue. They argue the big tech companies' platforms are a place of public accommodation, meaning they're not allowed to censor conservative content. We'll be back after these few words.
You are tuned in to the Republic Broadcasting Network. Visit our website by going to republicbroadcasting.org.
Homeowners, if your lender has gone out of business or sold your transaction to another lender or servicer, you may be the victim of a wrongful foreclosure, resulting in the loss of your home. If you've already lost your home, are in foreclosure, or even in good standing, you can challenge the mortgage transaction's illegal issue, and your property can be restored to you, and your foreclosure can be stopped or reversed, and the mortgage transaction declared unenforceable. State laws, U.S. title codes, the Uniform Commercial Codes, and U.S. Supreme Court rulings have upheld that defective mortgage documentations can reverse or stop foreclosures and enforce property title claims in favor of the homeowner. We are having successes in stopping the process of foreclosure, the enforcement of the foreclosure judgments, the sale of property, and evictions after the sale. We are not attorneys, and we don't give legal advice. We are a professional team of legal researchers, providing forensic mortgage audits and expert witnesses. We have the knowledge to produce the evidence and enforce laws regarding your legal issues. We've been in business for 12 years without a complaint. Consultations are free, and we provide a free title search to confirm if your mortgage has legal defects. Please call 855-253-3748. 855, 2, keep it today.
Extendivite 7-herb formulation is approved to help maintain cardiovascular health and help lower blood lipid levels in adults. Extendivite is made from hawthorn, garlic, valerian, cayenne, bilberry, ginkgo biloba, and milk thistle. The herbs in Extendivite have been chosen for their ability to help with overall health. Many people have reported improved energy and stamina in just a few months. If you think you could feel just a little bit better, then Extendivite may just be for you. Extendivite is an all-natural supplement. Extendivite is only $69.95 for a 2-month supply. To order, call 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com. That's HEARTDROP.com.
Extend your life with Extendivite.
Is your property a financial burden and causing you grief? Have you tried to sell but can't find buyers? Or are you just too busy to sell your property? Don't worry, we have the right solution for you. We buy properties as is, with cash, close in 30 days, and pay all closing costs. Our service is ideal for property owners who are in pre-foreclosure, have high-end repair costs, experiencing financial hardship, going through costly divorces, are relocating, need cash for retirement, suffering family loss, or have tax liens. Whatever your situation may be, we can help you sell your property and get the money you need. If you own a single-family home or multiple family units, call us for a free consultation at 888-910-1037. That's 888-910-1037. Or visit our website at cashingproperty.com. That's cashingproperty.com. Sell your property fast and leave all your worries behind.
We are living in dangerous days, and I am frightened by what you say. It chills right to the core. This talk of holy war.
Welcome back to our show here. We're still talking about censorship, and apparently Parler is filing a lawsuit against Amazon for basically just pulling the plug. Amazon may be in violation of a contract. I don't know what the details are, but apparently Parler feels that they have grounds for a lawsuit here. Now, up in Idaho, there's an internet provider, Your T1 Wi-Fi, which is blocking Facebook and Twitter from its Wi-Fi service for some customers due to claims of censorship. And apparently the move came after Twitter and Facebook banned President Trump from their platforms, and the customers started complaining, and so they just pulled the plug on them. So the plug can be pulled in both directions here. And in a related story here, it's just been announced that Trump supporters are banned from owning carrier pigeons in case they try to communicate with one another. All righty. Rudy Giuliani is calling on President Trump to declassify everything, and we wonder what he's waiting for. Trump is down in Texas right now. He may be moving around to avoid danger to himself and his family, or he's planning something. I mean, certainly members of the Democratic Party and the deep state are obviously afraid he may try some kind of a counter coup, which is why corporate media has exposed itself to ridicule and litigation by just coming down hard on conservatives. Now, pardon me. Last week, the FBI down in Georgia claimed jurisdiction and took control of shredded ballots being analyzed and sent them back to the shredder to be disposed of. Your FBI at work. What can I tell you here? All right, getting into the non-election theft news here. Apparently, Biden has announced a number of new additions to his national security team this week. He has nominated Victoria Nuland for the number 3 spot at the State Department. And, of course, we all remember Victoria Nuland's hand in so many of the wars that were started recently here. And apparently Biden is still considering Hillary Clinton as ambassador to the United Nations. And apparently ex-Senator Ted Kaufman and Representative Sherry Bustos are being eyed for administration roles. Okay. And apparently Clinton is being discussed as a potential ambassador because it would supposedly raise the prestige and standing of the U.S. after Trump's time in office. I seriously doubt that. All righty. Apparently out in San Diego, a mob of Antifa terrorists dressed all in black assaulted a small group of Trump supporters. And apparently they attacked the Trump supporters with pepper spray after a verbal confrontation escalated on the boardwalk in Pacific Beach. Up in Portland, we're now 3 months into the protests up there. And they're just going on. And it's become so much of the background noise. It's not even getting any media coverage right now. And basically, in late July, Mayor Ted Wheeler basically told the police force to stand down from the demonstrations. And he hoped they'd just get tired and go home. But it didn't work. It absolutely did not work. Apparently, the out in California, the petition to remove Governor Gruesome has over 1 million signatures now. So let's talk a little bit about COVID-19. It's still out there, and apparently more casualties are being reported among healthcare workers from COVID-19 vaccines. This is basically after 2 weeks of the Pfizer mRNA experimental vaccine being injected into healthcare workers in the U.S., end of the first week of the Moderna mRNA experimental COVID vaccine also being injected into the healthcare workers, and apparently more injuries and casualties and side effects, adverse reactions are being reported. Now, according to the U.S. government's own official reporting system, the coronavirus vaccines are sending hundreds to the emergency rooms because of adverse reactions. So it's just it's terrible out there. This is turning into a repeat of 1976. Apparently up in Canada, a 27-year-old healthcare worker fainted and then suffered multiple seizures after taking the Pfizer vaccine. And apparently the problem there is they overlooked the fact that she had various allergies, and there have been warnings issued saying, don't get the shot if you have allergies. And apparently the vaccine triggered a severe reaction. All righty. Up in, let's see, there's a nursing home in Auburn, New York. It's the Commons in St. Anthony. And they had 0 deaths from COVID until the vaccination started. Now it's 24 dead and 137 infected. More indications that the vaccine is actually causing the symptoms rather than curing them here. Over in Israel, there are 4 dead and hundreds infected with COVID-19 after receiving the Pfizer mRNA vaccine. Ugly, ugly situation here. Mainstream media outlets are now telling men to strongly consider freezing their sperm before receiving a COVID-19 vaccine because it can lead to future fertility problems. Ooh, what wonderful, wonderful stuff. Just amazing here. Apparently, Cuomo's rollout of the COVID-19 vaccine in New York resulted in 66% unused and expired doses simply being thrown out. This was actually reported by the New York Times here. Over in Japan, they are reporting to have found another mutant strain of COVID, and experts warn it's similar to the highly contagious British and South Africa variants. Anyway, apparently Pope Francis' personal doctor has died from coronavirus complications. He was 78 years old, and apparently the Pope says he will get his vaccine as early as next week. Article coming out, well, actually, researchers at Stanford University in California conducted experiments and tests to assess how tough lockdowns influence the growth in infections as compared to less restrictive measures. They used data from England, France, Germany, Iran, Italy, Netherlands, Spain, South Korea, Sweden, and the U.S., collected during the initial stages of the pandemic last spring. They compared the data from Sweden and South Korea, two countries that did not introduce tough lockdowns at that time, with that from the other countries. And what they found was that introducing restrictive non-pharmaceutical interventions such as reduced working hours, working from home, and social distancing helped curb the rise of infections in 9 out of except for Spain, where the effect was considered non-significant. Okay, Piers Morgan is a crusader for lockdowns. He thinks crusaders are really good. But again, in the typical, we'll don't do as I do as I say, apparently he flew to Antigua for the holidays after telling Britons that they had to deal with a virtual Christmas. We are here. Okay, transverse myelitis. That's the illness that halted the AstraZeneca vaccine trial. And apparently, transverse myelitis results in inflammation of both sides of the spinal cord, interfering with how messages are sent throughout the body and potentially causing paralysis. It's associated with pain, muscle weakness, sensory problems, and bladder or bowel dysfunction. Anything with myelitis in it is a bad deal. Another little side effect, people being kept at home and dealing with depression. Apparently, normal and healthy people are turning to recreational drugs to combat depression. And apparently, the number of deaths from drug overdose have soared to an all-time high, according to the CDC. Apparently, 81,230 people died from a drug overdose between June the 1st of 2019 and May 31st of 2020, up 18% over the same period the year before. Seems like the cure is definitely worse than the disease. All right, turning to the international news here, Pompeo says the U.S. is going to designate the Houthis as a terrorist group in a bid to undermine Iranian interference in Yemen. And basically acknowledged the move will create hurdles for delivering aid to war-torn Yemen. And apparently, Pompeo says they will also label 3 Houthi leaders, Abdul Malik al-Houthi, Abd al-Khaliq Badr al-Din al-Houthi, and Abdullah Yahya al-Hakim, as specially designated global terrorists. Now, this is a rather interesting development because at one point, the Houthis were considered a U.S. intelligence sharing partner right up to the point of the Saudi invasion. So they used to be our friends. Now they're our enemies. And then Washington, D.C. wonders why other countries don't really trust us. Okay. Apparently, Washington's One China policy is now officially dead. Mike Pompeo has lifted all restrictions on U.S. and Taiwan relations. So the decades-long U.S. recognition of One China is now over with, and this is a move designed to definitely inflame tensions with Beijing. We're just rushing headlong into these wars. Meanwhile, China has developed a new laser weapon, ground-based, but capable of destroying Indian and U.S. satellites in orbit. And apparently, it has the full capability of tracking these satellites and then hitting them with a laser and causing tremendous damage to them. So, China's military is expected to deploy a laser weapon capable of destroying U.S. military satellites in low Earth orbit. Well, they did it this last year. Meanwhile, in Korea, Kim Jong-un vows to expand his nuclear arsenal by building nuclear submarines, underwater missiles, and warheads that can hit American cities. Now, what they mean by underwater missiles is a new form of torpedo that is rocket propelled and can go much faster than conventional torpedoes. And one of the things that it does is it bleeds gas bubbles along the outer skin to get rid of the boundary layer, and that makes it go even faster. Meanwhile, the United States Space Force officially became a member of the U.S. intelligence community on Friday. They are now the 18th member of the U.S. intelligence community. So Director of National Intelligence John Ratcliffe and Chief of Space Operations General John Raymond announced that the section of the Space Force specializing in intelligence would join the spy community during a ceremony. Having lots of fun. Meanwhile, and we've talked about the Uss Gerald Ford before. It's the most expensive aircraft carrier ever built, and it's still having trouble launching fighter jets. The electromagnetic catapult, pardon me, and catch system keeps breaking 3 years after it entered service. They still don't have the bugs out of it. And you know, along with a story that we reported a while back where the onboard electronics of the Ford don't interface with the F-35. So it's not really going to be an effective fighting team, if you will. There has been another plane crash. This one happened in Indonesia. Apparently, the aircraft, just after takeoff, plunged 10,000 feet into the ocean. Just less than 60 seconds. It fell in 60 seconds, just 4 minutes after it took off. And apparently the plane was a Boeing 737. So everybody is looking askance at Boeing yet again. And they're bringing the wreckage ashore to try and figure out exactly what happened. All right, looking at some of the economic news here. The Czech Republic has finished a new gas pipeline, which is connected to the UGAL pipeline, which is a terrestrial extension of the Nord Stream 2. It's now in operation. The 150-kilometer pipeline begins on the Czech border with German Saxony and ends in the west of the country at a gas distribution center next to the border with German Bavaria. The construction began in 2017. Overall cost, 540 million euros. Okay, now apparently 2021 is going to be a good year for uranium investors. There are apparently 15 different catalysts that are going to be shoving the value up. So you may want to look at that. Meanwhile, Jim Rickards is out there saying that all the major currencies are in the same sinking lifeboat. He's predicting that gold will go to $15,000 an ounce. David Hunter is predicting stocks will drop between 60 and 80% this year. All righty, pardon me. We're going to go ahead and open up the phone lines here. Area code 512-248-8252. That's 512-248-8252. And getting on back to the news here. Let's see. Spain just got hit with a major winter storm. It's called Filomena. Caused chaos across the country. Madrid was particularly affected, prompting the closure of Barajas Airport and leaving hundreds of motorists stranded on roads. And apparently it is the worst storm in recent memories. Emergency crews are trying to rescue more than 1,500 people trapped in cars after 20 inches of snow fell in a single day. That's a lot of snow. Gosh darn that human-caused global warming. Okay, Facebook is throwing their hat into the ring for the development of smart glasses. Remember the Google glasses? There's the music. We got to take a commercial break. The lines are open, and we'll be right back.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
Please view, like, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Stop terrorism. Please contact us if you or anyone you know who wants to be on our show at thetruthpharmacy@gmail.com. Keep it real. Take the red pill.
Here at Republic Broadcasting Network, we have been building our online store. Well, we have been focusing on bringing you the best talk show host in the country. Here at Republic Broadcasting Network, we also want our listeners to have products they can use every day and in times of emergency. We have added new products each week to our store. Your support of this network, plus products at the best prices, is a win-win situation. Check out our new store. Go to our website, republicbroadcasting.org. and click on the online store located at the top of our website. Together, we can continue to grow RBN and help our listeners prepare for the future. Go to republicbroadcasting.org and click on our online store or call us.
800-724-2719 extension 3. 800-724-2719 extension 3.
Extendivite's 7-herb formulation is approved to help maintain cardiovascular health and help lower blood lipid levels in adults. Extendivite is made from hawthorn, garlic, valerian, cayenne, bilberry, ginkgo biloba, and milk thistle. The herbs in Extendivite have been chosen for their ability to help with overall health. Many people have reported improved energy and stamina in just a few months. If you think you could feel just a little bit better, then Extendivite may just be for you. Extendivite is an all-natural supplement. Extendivite is only $69.95 for a 2-month supply. To order, call 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com. That's HEARTDROP.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Corporations, Wall Street and the banks rule our politicians. They don't deserve our thanks, then they tell us the banks are too big to fail. When the banksters all need to be in jail.
Welcome back to our show here. And before we go to the phone lines here, I'm getting emails. I need to pick out my T-shirts a little more carefully here, because the only thing that's showing on this T-shirt is up at the top a word pig, which I'm sure a lot of liberals would apply to me. But what it actually says is pig noun, an animal used for turning vegetables into bacon. So that should answer all the people who wanted to know what that said. All right, we're going to go to the phone lines now to Kelly in Austin. Hello, Kelly. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind today? Kelly, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. You're on the air.
Okay. The big tech tyranny that you're seeing right now it's a perfect example of fascism.
Yes.
Where fascism is actually the blending of government and business. Government doesn't have to order people to do things. They can allow they can rely on their tech tyrants in this case.
Yes.
To do their bidding. So while they can claim that these tech companies can limit free speech because, well, they're private companies.
Mm-hmm.
Government can't limit free speech, but damn Google sure can.
Yep.
Facebook can. And so they're going to prop up these tech companies. The
Yes,
simple
they
reason
are.
that the tech companies are going to enforce their draconian rules, their draconian wishes. And people who go on and on about fascism, liberals who go on and on about fascism, don't know what it is. This is it, pure and simple. I can't think of a better example right now of fascism in the Western world.
No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely correct.
So this has got to stop, but it won't stop until we do something about bringing the incoming government down and breaking up these damn tech companies.
Yes,
I don't see any other way around it. Now I keep hearing word today off and on from various sources that Trump has either signed or is about to invoke the Insurrection Act, and I've looked all over the damn way. I can't find any evidence of it, and I don't know what to make of it. Have you heard anything? Hey, Mike.
Yes.
Have you heard anything about that? I said I've heard from several sources.
I saw this. Well, all the sources seem to track back to just one place, and I can't find any independent corroboration.
Well, I couldn't either, and I've looked all over the web today, and I've talked with other people, and I think this is another something else that somebody's thrown out just to throw us all off balance.
Yeah, it's just more of this, the problem is being solved, don't take direct action kind of propaganda.
Yeah, right. Anyway, I just wanted to tell you that right now we're looking at real fascism.
Yes,
and it's only going to get worse. It'll get much, much worse.
I agree.
And the Biden administration will target half of this country. I told you before, he will wage war against half the population of this country.
Okay, Kelly, I got to put you on hold. I got to put you on hold. Don't hang up. We're going to come back to you after station identification.
Hello, I'm Dr. Leonard Horowitz. I was right 30 years ago in warning the world about threatening lab virus outbreaks, AIDS, and Ebola. I was right 20 years ago when FBI Director Robert Mueller made me a suspect in the anthrax mailings because I warned the Bureau before the CIA's biocrime and Cipro sales psyops happened. I was right about COVID-19 being an AIDS-laced mutagen plan to resurge this fall to excuse officials' profitable depopulation globalization agendas. And I was right about the only safeguards being antioxidants and holy spiritual sustenance. Vitamin C, D, zinc, chlorophyll, oxygen, and oxysilver especially transmits the frequency resonance to neutralize the expanded function bioweapon. Oxysilver is a double superconductor of the healing power of love. It is the first nutraceutical invented to amplify prayer power and the faithful, loving intention of your heart. Buy, try, and stockpile Oxysilver through HealthyWorldStore.com.
This is RBN, the Republic Broadcasting Network.
What really happened with your host, Mike Rivero, because World War III is a really bad idea. Here is your host, Michael Rivero.
Welcome back to our show here. Hour number 2. The phone lines are open. Area code 512-248-8252. We're talking with Kelly in Austin. And Kelly, take it away.
Well, the last thing I wanted to tell you was that I've heard from several sources today that John Brennan is proposing so-called Chinese-style struggle sessions for some
Yes.
supporters before either allowing them back into society or shipping them off to FEMA camps for rehabilitation. And I think that's, and I tell you what, I don't doubt it. I know too many Democrats who agree with it. So we're in for a hard time here.
Yeah, I'm
We don't
afraid
do
so.
something to stop it now. Yeah, we're looking at a country that's going to come apart at the seams. All right, well, I've said it. So thanks for taking my call.
You got it there, and we're going to switch over to Mark in North Carolina. Hello, Mark. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind?
Hey, how you doing, Mike?
Doing fine. Mark, are you there?
Yeah, sorry. I lost you there for a second. Couple of things. One, as far as COVID goes, I was thinking that their plan is to vaccinate everybody below the population, which Gates want,
Yes.
for the Gates and those. But evidently, this thing is backfiring on them as far as that goes, because the side effects are happening a lot quicker, I guess, than they expected them to. They thought they could, it would kick in a few years from now. So I think they're next, and it's coming out now, even in the mainstream media to a degree.
Yes.
So I think this is what's going to happen now. If Biden gets in, and unfortunately it looks like he is, he's going to use this to blame not only him, but the whole the whole establishment is going to use this to blame Trump. And you know what? For good reason. Trump pushed this garbage.
Yes, he did.
Operation Warp Speed. He pushed it. It is his baby.
Yes, it is.
And they're going to use it against him. And you know what? I don't blame him. Because like I said, this is his baby. And he is a bad baby. It is a monster.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a shame that people have to lose their lives, be crippled, sterilized, and whatever else. And I understand there's already a couple of million people who have already taken it.
Yes.
Seems like a good many of them are both medical workers and also nursing home patients and stuff like that. And it's killing them like crazy. I heard Alex Jones earlier talking about it, and I thought he was, may have been exaggerating, but now I'm hearing you.
Yeah.
And evidently it's true.
Yes.
So, I'm going to go.
And, some months down the road, we could see more adverse reactions, surface.
Absolutely. You know what I found out too from a friend of mine who still works in New York law enforcement?
Yes.
He said that both the New York City Police Union, I think it's the biggest police union in the country, maybe in the world, PBA, and the New York City Fire Department Union have both told their membership not to take it wisely.
Mm-hmm.
So, this is backfiring on the globalists and then the eugenicists. So that's a good thing. But as far as Trump goes, this is, they want to really smear him. This is a way to do it, even if somehow he stays in office. And that's another thing I'd like to bring up now. I've been hearing for about the last week or so that, in fact, Trump was in Texas.
Yeah.
He was at some Air Force base in Texas in Abilene. which is, I think, the National Command Center. And I, go back and forth. I said, I think this is BS. I don't really believe it. I was here listening. Mike Adams was talking about it.
Yeah.
And a guy called The Word, Sword, and the Sign was talking about it. Okay. And I thought, I don't know. This sounds a little, I'm getting. But now, surprise, surprise, he was supposed to address the nation today from all places, Texas. Okay. Now, I don't know why he didn't. He may be waiting. But what is he going to address the nation about? He might just, declare martial law. It's not impossible.
No,
ahead
it
of
isn't.
ahead of Biden getting in there, I would not hold it. I would not, say that's impossible, because he's got people like Flynn behind him. Flynn knows the intelligence community back and forth. He knows the military back and forth. Now, there's a lot of the military that would not back. I mean, not a lot. There's a lot like the Joint Chiefs and stuff would not back Trump. But there's a lot of the rank and file military that would. He's very popular with it. And those are the ones you would need to declare martial law, because they're basically combat troops. Okay? You got the Marines, you got the Army Infantry, you got the Army Special Forces, probably the Navy SEALs. And this is, you couldn't get much better than that if you were going to do it. So I would not say this thing is over yet. Now, as far as the censorship goes, I believe that what's going to happen, I'm starting to see lawsuits already coming out.
Yes.
I see that Texas is about doing something about, cutting off some of the profits somehow. I'm not sure quite what, but they're doing something. The Attorney General, Tom Paxton, is doing something about that. And you might see a lot of other states combined to attack these big tech companies.
Yes.
So they may not get away with it. Plus, their profits are going to lose. And another thing, too, everybody's talking about what they did to Parler. Well, Parler should have been prepared for this. They did the same thing to Gab a year or so ago. I was on Gab, and I lost it. Now I'm back on it. Okay? And as a matter of fact, they
Gab
brought
got
me
their
back.
own servers.
Huh? So they got
Gab
their own servers.
bought their own servers.
Yeah, I can't even get on Gab right now because it's so hard, because they got so many people, I guess, applying.
Yes.
So, you like you said, you're looking for more servers now. So Gab, the same thing with, I believe, DLive. I don't think they go with the Apple Store and all that. And the same with Bitcoin. I mean, not Bitcoin, BitChute. BitChute is also independent, and they're doing very well.
Yes.
All right. Unfortunately, you can't live stream there yet, but I think that's coming. Gab
They
even got
say
their
it's
own.
coming here. I mean, I'm looking at BitChute. We did a new section of the website called Claire's Corner, and we switched to BitChute for that video because YouTube would not allow me to upload, large videos anymore for some reason.
Oh, that's great. That's good that you're on BitChute now too. And
Yes.
I think a lot more people are going to get BitChute or already on BitChute. A lot of the people that were kicked off of YouTube year or two ago, you now can find on BitChute. It's very good. It's also, I think I'm having little problems there lately because they're getting so much traffic now that it's overwhelming their system too. Because people are, leaving so big tech is cutting its own throat, and it couldn't happen to nicer guys.
Yeah,
they are really, really bad news. And as far as the Democrats or the establishment, declaring getting some kind of going after the guns and going after the trying to force vaccines, which I think are falling, or even trying to force another lockdown nationwide. I think the states are now getting wise to them and are ready to resist if that happens. And so I wouldn't put it beyond them trying, because what you're seeing seems to me the last stand of the baby boomers. All right, you're seeing the old hag like Pelosi, this decrepit old crook Biden, and the other old crook there in Shyster, Chuck Shyster there.
Yeah.
All right. This is their last stand. This is and they're trying to. But the thing is, they're not very smart. Their brain isn't probably working right, especially Pelosi and Biden. Their brains aren't even working properly anymore. They know what they're doing. What they're doing is they're just rile riling up people even more and making people more determined to resist them and to reverse this garbage. But like I said now with Trump, problem with him is he may have really laid a trap for himself. And it's not because of what happened in Washington, D.C. in the 6th, okay? It's this is another thing coming out that Antifa or some kind of radicals started this. They weren't part of the Trump movement. But again, this vaccine, this could be his swamp. This could be what really destroys him.
You know, before the vaccines were actually being distributed, I warned Trump not to hook his wagon to this because if it did have an adverse reaction, he would get the blame for it. And unfortunately, he deserves it.
Absolutely. And, I was listening to Jones earlier, too, and he was really attacking David Knight now. He was going off on David Knight. Fact of the matter is, David Knight was saying to Trump, warning him again and again about these vaccines, what he was doing, to stop the lockdowns, to stop that emergency order, to take the power away from these governors. Okay, he was warning again and again. Okay, and he was, obviously he was criticizing InfoWars at the same time for not attacking Trump for this. He didn't do it. That's what the rift was between David Knight and InfoWars. So now he's got his own show, evidently. I think he's got a podcast, and he's calling Jones out, and Jones is getting furious. But Jones, it's his own fault too. At least if he's got to be a shill, at least call Trump out for what he was doing wrong. And one of those was these vaccines and the lockdowns. The other thing he should have been calling Trump out for was the murder of Soleimani, the constant support for the Zionists.
Yes.
For Zionist interests, for stealing the Syrians' oil. Should have called him out. I don't know things. And on top of that, not freeing Julian Assange. He did say talk about that, but he should have really been in Trump's butt about Assange. I mean, it's disgraceful. Look, again, like I said, I'm not a MAGA wearing fool or hat wearing fool. I'm not a QAnon idiot either. But I just voted for Trump because he was the lesser of two evils.
Yes.
That doesn't mean the lesser of two evils is not still evil. Okay, he just didn't do right. He did some good things. He ended the TPP. He did something with NAFTA. I'm not sure if it really is any good anymore.
Well, he pulled us out of the Paris Accords.
As far as the wall goes, the Mexicans don't want to come to this country anymore. If anything, people are going to Mexico. I'm seriously thinking of looking at the possibility of moving to Mexico. They seem to have more freedom there than we have here. So that's again, because things are a lot cheaper there. And it seems like when I watch the Dollar Vigilante, who lives over there now, and it seems like people are very happy there. So other than you do have the problem with the cartels and stuff like that, there's more. This all around seems to be more. They're not fearing this silly virus the way we are. They have people in masks, but not the way we have in this country. So I don't know, but I can guarantee you, they're not piling to come into this country right now. I don't know if they ever will be piling to ever come into this country again. And it may be the other way. This is how bad things are right now. This is how they're destroying this country. And the main problem is these lockdowns, this whole COVID scare, and now, of course, we're going to have an even more horrendous government, a more vicious, nasty government. And one more thing too, I understand you're saying about Newland. I heard this. I heard this a couple of days ago. That Newland's going to be back at the Ukraine again. Keep on antagonizing Putin, like you said. Putin's looking at this country. He's a very smart guy. He doesn't want war. He knows what a war would mean, especially if it becomes nuclear.
Yes.
But he's going to be on hair trigger alert now. Russia's going to be on hair because, like you said, you got a country that's going crazy.
Yes.
Yet armed with 7,000 nuclear weapons and the means of delivery. If Russia was going nuts like this now, don't you think we wouldn't be on super alert? Okay, if we were. But now you got a United States that's completely going to, falling apart. It looks like we may be on the verge of total implosion.
Yes.
And yet we still got those 7,000 nukes the ability to deliver them, a powerful Navy, Army, and, constantly on war footing. What do you think Russia is going to be thinking? Even China, okay? What do you think they're going to be thinking? The reason why Russia and China formed an alliance, I think, is not because they like each other. There's a lot of, mistrust there.
Yes.
But sometimes you have to have alliances of convenience. And now the U.S. is, we're in such bad shape. There's no telling what might happen. You know what I mean? And it's a very sad and serious situation. And I'm very unhappy about it. I'm having trouble. I'm really having trouble sleeping. Okay. If I didn't do my exercises and eat the right foods and everything, I'd be so stressed out. I don't know what, But I'm trying to, do it properly, do some breathing exercise and things like that. And like I said, I just got my, I just pray for the best. But there's a lot of reason to believe the best isn't going to happen. But I hate to say with these vaccines, but I guess it's better that it happens now than happens in 5 years from now when people just start dying like crazy and people find out they can no longer have babies.
That could happen. I mean, one of my doctors, was saying that some adverse vaccine reactions don't surface for a very long time. And of course, because of that long interval, there's always that denial. No, it's got nothing to do with the vaccine. You had the vaccine 2 years ago. The fact that your nervous system just fell apart is completely disconnected.
Yeah, especially with the mRNA. I mean, the regular vaccines are dangerous enough. This sucker is really bad because it gets your immune system on edge. So if you catch a cold, your immune system is very possibly going to overreact, and that's an autoimmune response, and it's horrible. So at least it's coming out already now. The side effects are really coming out quick. So hopefully less people are going to take this thing. All right. That's, but it's a shame with the people who have already done it. And you got a lot of these elderly people in these nursing homes and other elderly people that are going to, I was talking to my cousin recently in California. He said he can't wait. He's online to get the vaccine. I said, you're crazy. He also said he wears his mask every time he even goes outside. Okay. Well, like I said, people are panicking and they're buying into this. But I think as this comes out more and more, less and less people, like you said, there are all these extra vaccines that they have in New York and they have to throw out now because it expired. That goes to show you people are not going for this stuff. All right. So if there's any light at the end of the tunnel, it might start there. But we got to resist the lockdowns. We got to get our businesses back up, the small businesses. And we got to punish big corporations for what they've done to help do to this country. We got to understand, too, the problem is not socialism. I'm not saying there's no problem at all. The problem is what I call predatory capitalism. You can also call it crony capitalism. There's a lot of different, but I like to put it what it really is. Predatory capitalism, where the big corporations eat up the small ones, eat up, after a while, eat up the whole country, even the government. After a while, they start to own the government. And you're seeing this now. You're seeing this big tech, the big banks. You're seeing with all these big corporations. Fed itself should have been ended a long time ago. Anyway, that's about it. I just want to say that, but believe me, Trump was no bargain and is going to be no bargain. Maybe he'll learn a little bit if he still stays in power. If he does pull the martial law option, maybe he'll learn a little bit. Maybe he'll understand the mistakes he made. Maybe he'll get better people to run the country. I don't know. But I just don't believe the man is as smart as a lot of people say he is. Because he wouldn't have done some of the dumb things he did.
I'm not too impressed with him.
No, to be a good businessman is one thing. To know how to run a country like the United States of America and deal with these political animals is another thing. And he just didn't know how to do it. All right, Mike. I'll let you go. Okay.
All right. Thanks an awful lot for the phone call. We're going to switch to Peter in Los Angeles. And Peter, I'm going to have to take you through this next commercial break. What's on your mind?
Yeah, geez, my battery's about to go out, Mike.
Talk fast.
Listen, I just want to call to make my one quick point.
Yes.
And the one quick point is I've noticed several articles, two that I sent you just over the last 3 days, where they are going after the United States Army as an institution,
Mm-hmm.
saying it's full of gang members and white supremacists and everything else. And it's for, obviously, the reason it's an institution that they don't have grassroots control of. And,
No, it isn't.
It follows their normal pattern of floating an article overseas, started with The Guardian.
Yeah.
That's it for
All
me,
right,
really.
Peter, I'm going to have to put you on hold. I got to put you on hold. We got to take a break for commercials. We'll be right back.
Have you been looking for a trusted long-term storable food company? We have a solution for you. Simply Clean Foods is dedicated to providing the best quality food you can buy next to fresh from a farmer's market. Our line of resealable fruits, vegetables, and meats are suitable for everyday use, and you won't have to worry about throwing away valuable groceries ever again. Our food is completely GMO-free, and our stringent quality controls, plus testing for heavy metals, makes us unique in the storable foods market. Simply Clean Foods' primary focus is to bring clean food to people all around the world and change the way we look at freeze-dried food in our daily cooking. When you purchase from simplycleanfoods.net, not only will you be receiving high-quality food, but you will also be supporting veterans in need across the country and those who are affected by natural disasters. Right now, Amazon Prime members will receive fast 2-day shipping. Go to simplycleanfoods.net. That's simplycleanfoods.net. But do it today.
Folks, we're living in a world the likes of which we've never perceived any clearer than we do now. The plan for global governance has been in the works for generations and would have likely been achieved by now, but for the fact that the globalists left open their Achilles heel. With all their tools, Federal Reserve System, fiat currency, no child left behind, and then Common Core education introduced to our schools to dumb us down, vaccines, pharmaceuticals to lobotomize us, GMO foods, insertion of compromised or bought and paid for politicians, judges, mainstream media propaganda, all pieced together like a puzzle designed to ultimately bring the world under submission. But with all their strategy, they forgot one thing: knowledge. And knowledge is power. With knowledge, their bombardment is nullified. Folks, with that, as brilliant and knowledgeable as you've become, among the wisest audience of any radio audience in the world, and you are, I want you to take a moment to reflect and ask yourself, how much of that knowledge did I obtain from Republic Broadcasting Network? How high has my consciousness been raised since I've been a listener? How fast am I now able to discriminate truth from fake news by being a Republic Broadcasting listener? How clear am I now able to see the world since I've been listening to RBN? Ask yourselves those questions, folks. Then ask yourself, what is that knowledge worth to me? Like my morning coffee, how would I survive without it? A voice of truth in a sea of lies. Do we not all need to make sure it survives? Like public broadcasting, we are now finding we can only survive with listener support. Censorship, advertisers being attacked, truth itself being attacked. It's the only way through this. We at Republic Broadcasting humbly ask you to become a supporter. Look at your budget and make a determination of what Republic Broadcasting is worth to you and what you can afford on a monthly basis. Go to republicbroadcasting.org and pledge $20, $30, $40, $50, if possible, $100 a month or more if it's affordable. Click the donate button and become a regular monthly donor. Assure both us and yourself that Republic Broadcasting truth will continue to flow like that morning coffee. The network thanks you.
Welcome to What Really Happened Radio. Visit us online at whatreallyhappened.com. And now, set your eyes on the future and let's consider what really happened.
Welcome back to our show here. We're talking with Peter in Los Angeles. And Peter, if you could just sort of continue where you left off. Peter? Peter, are you there? I guess not. So let's switch over to Cody in Illinois. Hello, Cody. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind today?
Good New Year to you there, Mike.
Thank you.
We'll find out how happy it is, I guess. I don't know. It's not looking like it when they said John Brennan was a communist, and apparently what he's talking about now is right out of the Mao playbook, huh?
Yes.
You hear me okay there, Mike?
Yeah, I can hear you. You're on the air, and I just saw a story where apparently Trump supporters are being put on the no-fly list now.
Yeah, there was something about that. I don't know if those were the ones that were maybe getting carried away on the plane, or if it's You know, the other thing I heard today, they're talking about a Patriot Act 20,000 pages long or something. That
Yeah, they've already got it written.
Really? When was that, the original one or something? Or how do you get?
No, this is the new one, Patriot Act version 2.0. The Reckoning.
I mean, what do you get 20,000 pages? I mean, that's like putting how many phone books just worth of names. I don't know what, you know, even if you're wanting to have a police state, why would you need such a long bill? It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But
I'm sure it's got a lot of riders because everybody knows it's going to pass.
Oh, okay, something like that there. That's just an abomination to even consider something like that. That kind of brings me to my next point, that this Congress, this country, this monetary system is, you know, just so out of whack. I've been going over, you know, trying to figure out kinetic and peaceful, you know, solutions, you know, to this problem. Kinetic one's probably not so good with, you know, a military that's probably been brainwashed by everything. But, you know, it'd be nice to go to D.C. and talk to some of these National Guard guys. I guess them being National Guard, maybe they aren't quite as brainwashed since they probably have regular jobs, you know, and telling, you know, there's no reason to even have this much tax in this country with all the resources and as big as we are. It's just the ridiculousness with this military industrial complex.
Yes.
If you could appeal to people and say, hey, guys, are you tired of all this money coming out of your checks, guys? Come on, we don't need to have this. Not to mention the money is phony anyway, and in the end, your retirement that you think you're working for is probably going to fall apart. You don't believe me? Oh, look at Venezuela. You know, it takes how many stacks of money to buy a cup of coffee? You know, you don't believe me? Oh, really? Go look at Venezuela. Just, you know, recent. And so the peaceful solution that I'm really thinking on is to demand we all go protest at go talk to our, you know, the Senate, the legislators, that we can get a hold of. This, you know, if they refuse to talk to you, then we start protesting. But basically, I think it's best to close Congress and let all the state legislatures, make the federal laws. It would be so hard for them to pass too much and do all the work, you know, because you'd have to have all the 50 states. They'd have to use Zoom type, you know, equipment to, you know, we'd still probably do the, you know, you'd deport. You don't, obviously you'd have thousands of people, then you can't, you know, let them all ask questions. So each state that gets so many representatives and senators currently, you know, that would be the number that you would, you know, maybe allow when they're negotiating bills on this tech platform, you know, be able to ask questions and all that. And that may, you know, that would maybe keep it, because that's going to be their argument. Oh, it's just too complicated. We can't, oh, BS. We're in a technology age. This can all be done. Telecommunications, they're proving it now with the court systems. And that's my thought. We have to close this Congress down one way or another. And, you know, they're just selling us out. There's just no doubt about it. And the only peaceful solution, you know, unless we can get the military to stand down and go arrest them all and have tribunals, which is going to be tough to do. The only peaceful solution is, you know, and secession is a bad word, but it's you know, this would be the next best thing to, maybe better than secession if we could do it right, is constitutional amendment. We're closing Congress. State legislatures are going to make the laws. We're going to get, you know, some way to do it. Still have a president and all that. Still have your military, but we do need to also talk about the way all this fraud in the FBI.
Yes.
So, you know, how do we address that? Do we, you know, maybe have regional type FBIs that, you know, the various states send so many agents to this central office or something? Because right now, you know, it sounds like that if you want some fraud, you just send the DC FBI to wherever, and they'll cover it up, and the local boys are probably sent off to, you know, wherever they, you know, distract them somewhere. And then, you know, must be how it's done. You know, we got to get out of this, you know. And why is it even legal to have these federal judges? Oh, because you commit a crime in DC, now these bought off DC judges, you know, they're going to try them there. It seems like you should always be able to be tried, you know, where you're from. You know, so you can't be railroaded in some federal, you know, secret city type type situation. But those are some of my ideas. If anybody wants to expand
Okay, well,
on them,
they're good ideas, but I'm going to have to let you go. We got to take another break for a commercial. We'll be back with more phone calls and news after these few words.
You are tuned in to the Republic Broadcasting Network. Visit our website by going to republicbroadcasting.org.
Homeowners, are you in foreclosure, expecting to be served with a foreclosure lawsuit, or suspect your lender has coerced you into an illegal mortgage transaction? A huge number of mortgages made in the last 10 years have legal issues and are possibly defective. State laws and the U.S. Supreme Court have upheld that defective mortgage documents are grounds for foreclosure defense and for counterclaims in favor of the homeowner. If your mortgage has been sold or assigned since closing the loan, it may be defective and you may be paying the wrong party, and the lender may not have standing or the right to foreclose or collect payments under the law. If you would like to know if your mortgage is legal or not, or know if you are paying the right party, we can help. Our initial consultations are free of charge. We are not attorneys. We are legal researchers and work closely with experienced lawyers who know how to help you find the evidence to help you keep your home. Call toll-free 1-855-2-KEEP-IT. That's 1-855-2-KEEP-IT today.
Ladies and gentlemen, J.R. Moore here. We have a special promotion going on at Republic Broadcasting. This is a fundraiser for Republic Broadcasting involving the energy cleaner. Mail me a postcard. My address is at my website at thelibertyman.com. We pick a postcard every other Thursday. When your postcard is drawn out, you get to buy an energy cleaner for $215 instead of $285, $70 discount. $200 goes to Republic Broadcasting. You also get a 10% discount on my mattress pads. So get those postcards in, put your name, your telephone number, your email address on there, and when your postcard is drawn, you get to get an energy cleaner for $215 instead of $285. Mattress pads, 10% off. Help us out at Republic Broadcasting and help yourself to get an energy cleaner at a deep discount. It's a win-win situation for everybody. We hope you can get these postcards in soon. Thank you very much.
For over 20 years now, Extendivite has proven time and again it really works. Here is a testimonial from Amazon.com. I received an arterial switch at birth. In my mid-20s, I started getting slight runs of NSVT. Nothing too serious, but enough to cause worry. I started taking Extendivite a little over 2 years ago, and it helped cut the palpitations and NSVT down drastically. This isn't a cure-all supplement. I strongly recommend a good diet and exercise to aid in any heart troubles you may be having, and I strongly recommend giving Extendivite a try. Extendivite is only $69.95 for a 2-month supply. To order, call 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com. That's HEARTDROP.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
If you got the money, honey, we got the bombs. We'll plant 'em anywhere you like and blow up anyone. Whip this world into a frenzy, killing babies, dads, and moms. If you got the money, honey, we got the bombs. If you got the money, well, we won't say we did. The towers.
Welcome back to our show here. We're going to go back to the phones here to Tom in Florida. Hello, Tom. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind?
Yeah, Michael, good day to you. A lot of good calls. Yeah, Mike, first off, what's on my mind is this black police officer in Memphis. He kidnapped some guy and he shot him. He dumped his body, and I guess they caught this police officer, a black guy. If that would have been a white cop doing it to a black guy, I think all the city of Memphis would be on fire right now. And, Mike, let's get back to really what's going on here. The Magnificent Mile in Chicago got burnt down. There was $800 million in damage in that city, okay? The Capitol building didn't have one Molotov cocktail thrown in it, Okay, they knocked out some windows. From the report I heard today, there's like $175,000 in damage done to the Capitol. Okay, let's repeat that. $175,000, around $180,000 in damage for the windows and everything that's going to have to be replaced. Okay, these BLM and Antifa went around for the whole summer, burning up all these cities. Chicago has almost 800 murders, 3,500 shot. All the cities, Philadelphia, Detroit, not Detroit so much, but Philadelphia, Baltimore, even Miami here, South Miami, Fort Lauderdale area. We've had almost 279 murders, Mike, okay, from 2020. We don't hear none about that, but all we hear from these pig Democrats and these pigs like Pelosi, who've allowed the state of California to have 8.5 million illegal aliens, okay, angel mothers dead, angel mothers and fathers who have loved ones dead, over 4,500 of them in the last 3-year period. That Pelosi should be arrested right now. Biden should be arrested. They're the ones that should be arrested for allowing all these people to get murdered.
They're in violation of Title VIII.
That's right, Mike. And nobody is saying that. Not one of these senators, not one of these rhino senators, that pig Romney, who was kissing butt to Louis Farrakhan and Obama, okay? We're not hearing none of this crap. All we're hearing is how bad Orange Man is. Orange Man bad, white man bad, white man bad. You know, Mike, I tell you what. I want you to start looking at the statistics. I did it. There's 13.4% of the population of the United States is black. 16.8% of the population is Hispanic. The rest is, I believe, Orientals are 3.7% Asiatic. The rest are white Anglo Northern European. Okay, and we'll count the Jews are 2%, 3%. So we're going to round it off to 64%, I believe, for it came out the Anglo white Northern Europeans. And we're going to be dictated to. We're the ones who've got to kowtow to this nonsense. Okay, and you got this dirty black Irishman like Biden. He's a filthy, dirty Irish, okay, walking around spewing all this hate, and he's a Chinese communist Bolshevik, kissing butt, licking butt to China, Jinping licking his butthole. In the meantime, they're making Orange Man, Trump, look like he's the devil in the media. Like, again, Mike, I've been telling you for years, ABC, NBC, or CBS, if Donald Trump had to go out and plead with all his followers, the 74 million plus, 75, 76 million he's got, to donate $100 a piece just to get a network like you guys, like an RBN type network on the major TV networks, like on ABC or CBS or NBC. Could you imagine what it'd do to shake the core of this country? Because the truth would finally be prevailed, like your show and RBN. But what's going on? We got this Zog agents, these Kabbalah rats running the show. Look what they're trying to do right now with Congress. They're not saying a damn word about all these angel mothers and fathers who had loved ones murdered. They shut that down. They wouldn't even let that one couple of these angel mothers even talk this time around. And if you notice, Mike, in the 2020, when Trump was leading up to the election in November, you didn't hear a damn word on any of these angel mothers or fathers on national major network, Fox News, or none of them. They would not allow it, Mike, because they know this is all about immigration and flooding this country. You got almost 8.5 million voters in California that are here illegally. That mayor in Oakland, California, should have been arrested. That's when they should have went in that Capitol building with all these hundreds of thousands of people. And that's when the Capitol, they should have went in there, tore it up. Not the Capitol in Washington. They should have went in Sacramento, California. And that's where they should have did all the tearing up. All the people who got raped off and had their loved ones get murdered by illegal aliens. You never heard another thing, Mike, about Molly Tibbetts. You never heard another damn thing about Jesse Smollett. And you haven't heard a darn thing about this cop. Where's LeBron James? Where's LeBron James talking about this black police officer who killed a black guy for a drug deal? Put him in a squad car, handcuffed him, then takes him on the field and shoots him. You don't hear a damn word, a peep word out of that. You don't hear a peep from that LeBron communist Chinese James. But all you hear is how bad Orange Man is. And a lot of your callers, Orange Man. And there's one guy in New Jersey, I'll bet you in about a month from now when Biden takes the power, he's going to be calling, I want to see what he's going to have to say how bad, because he always was talking bad about Trump. I want to see what he's going to say about Biden. I want to hear what he's going to have to say about Joe Robinette Biden. His name is Robinette. I want to hear about Robinette. He's robbing our damn country is what he's doing.
Yes.
Robinette's robbing us. Blind. So, Mike, let's get to the real point here. The Capitol, yes, the Capitol got breached. We don't know how. They're not even telling you how many Antifa were in there. They're not even telling you what PSYOPs that was. We don't even know what kind of Washington was behind it. Mike, nobody ever got arrested in the Durham report. Nobody ever got arrested with Hillary Clinton with their bleach bit. Nobody. Anthony Weiner working for Mossad.
Yeah.
You got Abedin, or whatever. He divorced her.
And Seth Rich's murderers are still walking free.
Yes, look at this Clapper. Look at this Brennan. They're full-blown deep state communists. But you know what, Mike? Donald Trump's the bad man. Orange man, bad. All white men who love this country, who carry guns, are bad men. John Adams said it, Mike. With a gun, you're a citizen with this new nation. Without the gun, you'll be the subject. And that's exactly what they're doing us. We are going to be like Cuba and Venezuela. That's exactly what they're doing.
Biden came out the other day saying he's going to put the NRA out of business.
No, he ain't. The hell if he is, Mike. Because you know what? A lot of guys right now are keeping their powder dry. You got to keep your powder dry. You know, hey, don't try their nonsense. But you know what, Mike? There's going to come a time when enough is enough. Especially like, hey, I'm getting older, and I don't. Look, I'm fed up. My family went to war for this country, man. My great-great-grandfather went to war for this country, Mike. I had 2 brothers in Vietnam. I'm the baby. I didn't go to Vietnam. I just missed it. Okay? One of my brothers is still alive. My other one passed away in the VA hospital. Okay? And he was a full-blown, he loved this. He was a full-blown constitutionalist. He loved this country like you wouldn't believe. And he rubbed it off on me. And he loved the Bill of Rights, and he loved everything about this country. Now, when we talk about what happened in the Capitol, Mike, that is a big cabal by the, look at these ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, even Fox, Filthy News, CNN, Communist News Network. They're all communists. And Teddy Turner said it best when he's married to Jane Fonda. He was married to her at the time. He who controls the media controls the mind. He who controls this media controls the mind of the nation. And it's exactly what these pigs are doing. They all should be arrested, and the military should turn on what's going on in this. The military should get involved because, you know, most of those guys are constitutionalists. And, Mike, look what's going on in Georgia. You never heard about the military vote that never came in that night when
never did.
Won for Purdue. What happened to that military vote, and why are they waiting till the next day to bring the military vote? Those guys should be voting on the base, and in 10 hours before the polls close, those votes should already be counted on those military installations all over the world and sent right back to their home state so they can be counted in during the vote. You never heard a darn word about those military votes with Purdue.
No, it was a crooked election. I mean, no question. Was the crookedest election in U.S. history. And,
Mike, you know what?
They didn't even try and hide it.
I love you for saying that, Mike. I love you for saying that so much because, Mike, but here I got it, and I know you're going to say something to me, but I got to bring it up, Mike. When I did the statistical numbers today, looking at how many blacks are in this country, how many Hispanics are in this country, white men, white women, I was astonished, Mike. Now, I'm saying to myself, there's only one way Biden could have won this election, and it's by liberal, now listen, Mike, don't get upset, white liberal women. And there's white liberal men. No, there's rhinos too, like Romney. You got a lot of like Bushes, those scumbags. But Mike, when you look at the women in this country, they would have had a vote for Biden to win this election. But I'm not mistaken. You can correct me. They had a vote at 72% clip for Biden to win. The women vote for Trump to lose.
But you see, we can't trust those numbers because of all the fraud that took place.
Absolutely. And Mike, why would white women want to, unless they're totally dumbed down, why would they not during the summer see all these cities burning up, all these run by all Democrats? White women would want their white men. It's like in the Civil War, brother against brother. We're going to use brother against brother. That's what these Zog agents are great at doing. Zog Israel's great. They split brother against brother, man. It's brother against brother, family against family. There's a couple of members of my family, Mike, I don't even talk to them. Because they're so leftist, they're so brainwashed. I'm so sad. It's a very, and my father, my grandfather did not raise our family like that. But these women, I'm not gonna lie, Mike. Some of these women can take control a hold of a man, and they can turn him into emotional instead of logical. Okay, they can do that in a family, and unfortunately, that's what's happening right now to this country on these college campuses everywhere. Look at these college campuses, Mike. They're dumbing down these white women that they have to hate their own cultural identity, that you should hate white men. After we gave the world everything. We did almost everything for this world, Mike. Automobiles, airplanes, medicines.
Well, wait a minute. I mean, automobiles were invented in Germany, along with the electric light bulb. So let's not get carried away here. I mean, America's been very generous to the world.
Mike, I said Europeans, Mike. I said European. I said Europeans. We're all the people came out of Europe. The Spanish, or a lot of people don't realize, but people in Spain are European. They're Northern European men.
Yes.
People in Spain, like Argentina and all that. They're not black. They're not Slavic. Those are Europeans. The Spanish. When Columbus came here, they were Northern Europeans, Christopher Columbus, and Ponce de Leon and all those men, the Castilians. Who's kidding who? It's all been a big lie. They've been lying to all of us about this whole freaking thing with history. And it's a disgrace. And, you know, you got bumbling Biden. Okay, and Mike, by the way, did you hear the latest about why they say Trump lost Arizona and Georgia?
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear the latest on Fox News?
No,
Fox
go ahead.
News reported that Trump lost. They reported on Fox News last night that Trump lost those 2 states because Trump allowed him to call him a clown. I told you about that on the debate, and that Trump was going after a guy that had the partial dementia, Alzheimer's. That Trump was attacking Biden for being having Alzheimer's. That was on Fox News on two of the things I was watching last night, 2 of the shows, that they said that's why Trump lost those 2 states, especially Arizona, is because Trump was talking about Biden have Alzheimer's, like dementia, and all those older people in Arizona voted for Biden because he was being insulting to their age group.
Well, you know, any excuse to cover up the election fraud, and again, you know, they had to act so dramatically to reverse the Trump landslide. Everybody noticed, and we're going to see nothing but propaganda from now on that the election was honest and fair and verifiable. And I don't know if you were listening earlier in the show. The FBI apparently claimed jurisdiction and grabbed those partially shredded votes in Georgia that were being analyzed and just sent them back to the shredder to finish the job.
Well, I believe that, Mike. Listen, look, they never said a damn word about Hunter Biden's computer, Pelosi's computer, all the filth that Pelosi's got on her. You had Feinstein with a Chinese communist in her office for 20 years, driving her around. I mean, this whole thing is a cabal. This whole massive disgrace. And the military, I believe, Mike, if they really love this country, they need to do their duty, and they need to start arresting people immediately. The military. You need to have military tribunals because we cannot allow this anymore. Otherwise, this country is going to fracture like we never saw. It's gonna be unbelievable. It's gonna be terribly frightening.
It's an ugly time. It's a very scary, ugly time here. Anyway, listen, Tom, I've let you go on long enough here, and we've got other callers who are waiting patiently. So thank you very much for the phone call. We're going to switch over to Milton in Pennsylvania. Hello, Milton. Thank you for waiting patiently. What's on your mind today?
Yeah, I've been listening. You know, we go through all this COVID stuff and the heebie-jeebies and all that, scared out of our minds and all. And maybe I just need a new mindset, and you can help me out with it. But I turn on my TV, I listen to weather. After that, well, it goes. I don't want to hear no news, COVID, all this warping my brain. But, you know, the independent media is starting to get to the same way to people for the simple reason you got to hope that comes up, and you're not guilty of this, but you got to hope of something going to happen, and Trump's going to win, and then all of a sudden it's nixed. You know?
No, yeah.
My train of thought now is getting, okay, I want to hear somebody say out there, at 0800, we're all going in. That's what I want.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, right now, the way the tech giants are stamping down on social media and, you know, basically banning conservatives, you know, social media is going to be a Joe Biden fan club and going to be useless for anything else unless you like funny kitten videos. But yeah, they're trying to make sure we cannot communicate with each other. That was the reason for the joke about carrier pigeons earlier in the program.
Okay, you know, you're a lot more intelligent than I am. I don't do a lot of reading. But is there anything out there that's a good read that can actually tell you through history or something like this that's happened and how the people combated it?
Well, you know, the history of the French Revolution is a good one, and even the history of the Russian Revolution and the American Revolution.
Like I said, I'm not a reader, so I think I'm going to start reading them just to have an idea, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I was just blowing off some steam there. I know a lot of other listeners and readers that are the same way, but okay, Mike, we'll let you get on with the show.
Mike, this is start by tell the lovely Miss Clara hi for me.
I certainly will. And, you know, don't forget to visit Claire's Corner at the What Really Happened website. She talks about ageism. Okay.
Yeah, Starfire blind, so I'll help her out.
All right. Well, thank you very much there. And it's mostly Claire's voice, so you don't need to worry about that. Thank you very much for the phone call. We're almost to the commercial break, so I'm going to do a couple of news stories, and then get the last callers in the last segment here. I started this one a little bit before. Facebook is getting involved in the rush to make smart glasses. And apparently, the Google Glass really didn't hit its niche market. It's still being sold for industrial use here. But Facebook is coming out with smart glasses that will launch this year. It's going to have a built-in camera. They are not doing augmented reality, overlaying digital objects onto the real world, which I think is a good idea because you need to see the real world, especially if you're driving. What other functionality it's going to have, they're not really saying. They're keeping it close to their vests here, but they are going to come out with that this year, and it will be fun for all us computer nerds. Apparently, SpaceX had its first Falcon 9 mission this year by sending a Turkish-owned satellite into orbit. And we're going to take a break for commercials. Back with more phone calls after these few words.
Is your property a financial burden and causing you grief? Have you tried to sell but can't find buyers? Or are you just too busy to sell your property? Don't worry, we have the right solution for you. We buy properties as is, with cash, close in 30 days, and pay all closing costs. Our service is ideal for property owners who are in pre-foreclosure, have high-end repair costs, experiencing financial hardship, going through costly divorces, are relocating, need cash for retirement, suffering family loss, or have tax liens. Whatever your situation may be, we can help you sell your property and get the money you need. If you own a single-family home or multiple family units, call us for a free consultation at 888-910-1037. That's 888-910-1037. Or visit our website at cachingproperty.com. That's cachingproperty.com. Sell your property fast and leave all your worries behind.
For over 20 years now, Extendivite has proven time and again it really works. Here is a testimonial from Amazon.com. I received an arterial switch at birth. In my mid-20s, I started getting slight runs of NSVT. Nothing too serious, but enough to cause worry. I started taking Extendivite a little over 2 years ago, and it helped cut the palpitations and NSVT down drastically. This isn't a cure-all supplement. I strongly recommend a good diet and exercise to aid in any heart troubles you may be having, and I strongly recommend giving Extendivite a try. Extendivite is only $69.95 for a 2-month supply. To order, call 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com. That's HEARTDROP.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Hey gang, Patrick Slattery here with an important message that is pertinent to anyone who shops for groceries, eats food, or just has an inquisitive mind like myself. What I'm about to introduce you to is a segment of our food culture that has been kept so low profile to the American public that virtually no one is aware of how dominant it is on our refrigerator and cupboard shelves. What I'm talking about is the kosher certification industry and a new app, Koshertified, that delivers a comprehensive education on all aspects regarding this little-known practice. After reviewing this app, I found that it is useful for practically anyone who purchases food, regardless of their religious faith or identity. Its database of products not kosher certified is a win-win convenience for all food-conscious people. So why not check out the kosherquestion.com or click on the link at nationalbugle.com and see how modifying your grocery shopping with the Koshertified app can make a huge difference for your future.
Working 2 job things never seem to meet. She often goes hungry so her babies can't eat. Fatherless son wears torn clothes to school. We're making fun of him's the only golden rule. She doesn't know she's a favorite daughter. If someone wants to help her walk on water.
Welcome back to our show. Last segment of our program today. We're going to go back to the phones to Apostle in New Jersey. Hello, Apostle. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind today?
How are you, Mike? I'm an extremely long-time listener.
Okay.
I met you at the 9/11 whatever conference in New York with Claire.
Okay.
You actually even said my story that I explained to you on 9/11
Okay.
on your air.
Oh,
Whatever,
okay.
which I appreciated, my friend. I just want to give your listeners an update. If they have an Apple or Android phone, do not put automatic updates on your phone because the fireworks are about to start. And grab your popcorn because if you do the update, Android and Apple are going to try to block you getting to the emergency broadcast system.
Now, why would they do that?
Because Trump right now has been blocked off every social media network that there is. Right now, he's going to be releasing a lot of information, but he's going to be doing it through the emergency broadcast system. If you update your thing, if you update your phone, they're going to try to block it. And the FCC released a statement 2 days ago saying that if you do not let citizens access to the emergency broadcast system, it's a federal offense. I think they're going to try it anyway.
They very well might. Well, that's a good suggestion, is to turn off the updates here. Frankly, I'm surprised Apple didn't go out and remotely delete the Parler app after they took it out of their store.
Again, they don't care. Right now, they're worried. The deep state, that's why they're pushing the 25th Amendment, because Trump's going to come out with a lot of information.
Yes.
The way he can come out with it is with the emergency broadcast system. Your phone will actually allow you to get it, but if they do an update on your phone, it's going to block it. And it's actually a federal offense, but if they figure if Biden gets in, they can bypass that.
Yeah, they really don't seem to follow the laws anymore, do they? Whether it's FCC regs or Title VIII. It is a lawless government. Laws are for the little people.
Trump right now is trying to right a wrong. And you know what? I'm just looking out for everybody because I made everybody that I know, I said disable it till at least the 25th of January.
All right. Well, Apostle,
don't take
good
the
info. Good call. And we're going to switch to Miles in Maine. Real quick, Miles. We're almost at the end of the program. What's on your mind? Miles, are you there?
It's crazy. Yeah. Aloha, Michael.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We ran into the end music there. Miles, will you call back tomorrow?
Sure. Thank you, Michael.
All right. Thanks an awful lot. I appreciate it there. Okay. Stay tuned for John Stedmiller. He's back at his microphone tonight with his report from the ground in Washington, D.C. And so he's got a lot of interesting things to share with you. Please spread the word of Republic Broadcasting. Spread the word of whatreallyhappened.com. Please donate. We'll be back tomorrow. Aloha, America.